Growing up as a young child, we were poor, but we were not poverty-stricken. And my mother, Rhoda Merle, was masterful at presenting the food that we had in our house. We had a large kitchen table. Everybody could sit around the table, and there was always a tablecloth on the table. And the table was always set. She would have, for instance, sliced tomatoes, and she made a little sauce that went over the tomatoes, and you put it on a certain way and cut the tomatoes up. And the presentation of food makes a big difference, and it doesn't have to be fancy food. We had oatmeal mush every morning with milk and sugar. We always killed a pig, so we had bacon for breakfast every morning. To digress about killing a pig, we killed a pig every year. Well, you get the pig out there and shoot him in between the eyes with a .22 rifle, and this would instantly put him down and stun him. And then you immediately cut his throat and let the blood drain out from the carcass. You want to get all the blood out of the meat. You hang it up and let it drain out, and then you had to have hot water, and it was in a 50-gallon barrel that you heated up underneath a bonfire, and then you strung the pig up, dropped his body into the hot water, and that loosened up all the hair. So then you would take a knife, a sharp knife, and you'd start to scrape off all the hair, off all the body until it was clean. Then you would open up the pig and take out his intestines. You use the liver and the heart. In those days, we ate everything. Then we would take the pig in and set him on the kitchen table, and we would start cutting him up. The skin is still on the pig, and you would cut the hams, the back legs up, and those you would cure, which means that you would put salt in them with a big hypodermic needle. And then to dry them out, you would put them in a bin of wheat, and it would suck all the moisture out of them. For breakfast, we had lots of oatmeal mush. Sometimes we would have germain wheat. Later on, we used to eat Wheaties and cornflakes. Often in the evening, we would have bread and milk, homemade bread, which my mother baked twice a week, 5 loaves, and it was made from water and flour and yeast, and it was good bread. You'd break this bread up, pour milk on it, put some sugar on it, and you would eat that for your supper. And it wasn't in a little bowl like this. It was in a mixing bowl. And you had a big spoon to get it out. And I can remember going to work on the farm, and for lunch, we might have a 2-quart bottle of tomatoes and several of these slices of homemade bread with butter on them and with jam in between. My mother put up a lot of fruit. Every summer she would spend canning this fruit and storing it away in the cellar. So we didn't buy a lot of stuff out of the store. We mostly did it ourselves. And it's one of the things that Nadine and I are doing right today. We can a lot of fruit. We make a lot of juice. The procedure's a little more modern, a little more efficient. But one of the things that I'm thankful for is that we're able to grow a lot of the stuff that we eat ourselves. There may come a season in your life when you want to do that also. In my mother's time, they did it as a way of life. In my lifetime, we're doing it in this season of Nadine and I's life. Jane Ann's parents were the same way as my parents were. They canned. They were able to sort of sustain themselves. The society that we're living in today is a very efficient society, but it's also very interdependent. We rely on someone else to do a lot of the things that we used to do ourselves. I think it's a distinct possibility that we'll be going back to where we'll have to be more self-reliant. Nadine and I are practicing that right now.